I'm back. Wow, I'm back!
All clear. I repeat.
What is up, Division 2 agents? Welcome back to the channel. It's The Werewolf Gaming, back with another Division 2 video. Alright agents, I hope everyone has been doing well and staying safe. Today, I want to showcase a gear set that was introduced in year 7, Season 2 in Division. And this gear set, guys, is the tipping scale. This gear set is catered towards LMGs and it is very powerful. Guys, you get a flat out 30% increase in weapon damage whenever you do have on all 4 pieces. On top of that, you can build up critical hit damage up to over 500 something critical hit damage with this particular gear set. It is amazing, but one downfall you will see when using this gear set is that the stacks do deplete pretty quickly. I believe it's 6 stats deplete every second, so if you're not firing, you're not going to be maintaining that damage. With that being said, this gear set will work great on legendary difficulty because you'll definitely be doing a lot of firing on those enemies, guys, because they are a lot more tanky. With that being said, I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that continues to support me on the channel, especially those who always have something positive to say, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you for your valued time and continued support. In the gameplay today, guys, as you will see in this first part, I will go down a good little bit. This build is very squishy, so it isn't one of my. It's just one of the different variations of this build that I do plan to put together. But this is a very powerful gear set. The goal is to take these guys out as quickly as possible. And as you will see in the gameplay, guys, I am chewing through these enemies pretty quickly with this build, which is one reason why I didn't stay in cover as much as I should have. Because if I would stayed in cover a little bit longer, guys, I went down the 2 times I did go down in this gameplay. But overall, it's still a fun build, guys. As long as you got that reviver hive, you get that second chance to get up. And the moment you get back up, those enemies do not stand a chance. Alright, so let's finish watching the rest of this gameplay, then we will go to the build breakdown shortly.
Good work.
Alright agents, so with this build we did decide to use the blue screen LMG exotic machine gun, and the core stats, as you can see, is 171.49k, RPM of 798 and 260 in the magazine. We did have a headshot damage of 85% and 40 optimal range. Keep in mind some of that weapon damage is coming from the gear set. I do currently have a weapon expertise of 30% on this gun, and the core attributes are fully maxed out with LMG damage, damage to target out of cover, and damage to armor. As you can see, weapon handling, the accuracy is pretty poor, but the stability is amazing. We do have a reload time of 2.07 seconds. The talent is the primary reason why we was using this gun. This gun was designed for crowd control, in my opinion, and you will see when we go over the talent. The talent is called Disruptive Rounds, and guys, basically your goal is to keep shooting as many enemies as you can, tagging those enemies, and whenever you get to a certain amount of stacks, you will apply all different sorts of status effects. That is the easiest, that is basically what you're going to do with this gun. So for 1 to 10 stacks, you will post march targets for 10 seconds. From 11 to 25 stacks, you will pulse and disrupt mark targets for 5 seconds. From 26 to 49, you pulse, disrupt, and disorient mark targets for 5 seconds. Basically, when you get all 50 stacks, you will pulse, disrupt, and disorient mark targets and all hostiles within 10 meters of the mark target for 5 seconds. This effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemy is killed. So overall, just amazing gun to use, guys. But like I said, I did use the pestilence in this build as well, and it worked great as well. The mods that come in this gun are 20% increase in reload speed, 15% increase in weapon handling, 10% stability, and 20% increase in rate of fire. Alright, your secondary weapon didn't really matter. We did have the Lexington equipped, but as you see in the gameplay, guys, we did not use it much. So ultimately, just use whatever you prefer for your secondary and for your sidearm. Alright guys, so the new gear set that just came out is basically tipping scales, and we do have on 4 pieces. 2 pieces gives us 30% increase in magazine size. We have on 3 pieces, you get 30% increase in LMG damage, and when you have on all 4 pieces, you get throttle control. Shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Each stack provides 0.5% increase in weapon handling and 4% critical hit damage. Keep in mind you do lose 6 stacks per second while not shooting. No stacks are lost as long as you are able to suppress the enemy. So you basically can get 4% critical hit damage, stacking up to 4 times. So that's 200% increase in critical hit damage, guys, whenever you do have this gear set on. Now, the core attribute, we do have a weapon damage core for the core attribute. And on this gear set, we was going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. All right, the attributes we did have rolled on this mask was a 6% critical hit chance and a 12% critical hit damage attribute. All right, the chest piece, guys, I recommend you do wear the chest piece with this gear set, and you will see why. But for the core attribute, we did have a weapon damage core, and again, the middle attribute, we had 12% critical hit damage and a 6% critical hit chance. The talent that comes on the chest piece is called sustainability, and this increases your max stacks, the max number of stacks from 50 to 75, so you can get a 300% critical hit damage when wearing the chest. All right, so the holster was the third piece, and we did have a weapon damage for the core attribute with a 6% critical hit chance attribute. All right, and guys, for the knee pads, we did decide to use the Turmoil knee pads. They're amazing. They're one piece of the name version of the Seska set, and it gives you 8% critical hit chance. The core attribute is weapon damage, with the attributes being critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent is what we really was going for. It's called Bewildered. And when basically dealing weapon damage to an enemy, 50% of the damage dealt will be dealt to another enemy within 30 meters instead. When there are no enemies nearby, you deal normal damage. This does not apply to armor plates. Overall, this is amazing, guys, for solo gamers. So I do recommend you use it. All right, so we did decide to use the new exotic gloves called Overdogs. These gloves are amazing as well. And what the talent reads, the inscription says start from the bottom and make your way up. Comes with a core attribute being a weapon damage core, and the attributes of critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent on this gloves are called Weakest Link. Basically amplify weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemies currently in combat as per tier hierarchy. So basically tier 1 are classified as your hunter, your rogues, your leader, your tanks, your shields, your heavy weapons, RPG, medics, controller, and warhounds and marauders. Tier 2 are your support, your engineer, bodyguards, mobilizer, bombers, mini tank, and drone operators. And tier 3 are as any other enemy within or skill proxy. Keep in mind though, guys, since we are using the Turmoil knee pads, you won't really play at any attention, guys, because you're just gonna be shooting random enemies, and hopefully you will be. So you're gonna be spreading that damage all over. So that's one reason why these gloves, I believe, work great in this build. All right, for the backpack, and I do recommend you use the backpack with this build as well, and you'll see why. But for the core attribute, we did have an armor core, and the attributes again were critical hit chance and critical hit damage. For the talent, it is called Snowball. Basically, you increase the critical hit damage received per stack from 4 to 7. So keep in mind, so you're going from 4 to 7 on your critical hit damage. So basically, when you pair this with the chest, guys, you can get up to over 500 something critical hit damage on your build, not factoring in the critical hit chance that you do have for your attributes on your gear set. So overall, this is amazing. Gear set, guys, really helps push the boundary as far as damage when running LMG builds. And like I said, I did play with this build using the Pestilence as well. Worked great. And of course, guys, there are many different variations you can put this build together. This is just one variation that I decided to use. So we did go with the Revival Hive, guys, because this build is pretty squishy. And as you did see in the gameplay, I did go down because I was playing a little reckless. And we did decide to use the Fixer drone to be able to repair some more armor as well. But always use whichever skills work best for you in your gameplay. All right, for these global modifiers, guys, this build, we didn't really focus heavy on the global modifiers. Yes, you see in the gameplay, I did not even activate my active modifier any because I didn't want it to really affect. And the passive modifiers in this build really didn't play a major part anyway, guys. But guys, as most of you know, most of my builds work with or without the modifiers. Plenty of my builds from last season, guys, I am still currently using right now. And a lot of times I always try these builds without the modifiers on just to see how great they are. But the modifiers I did have was the Batter Up, Bad Reception. As you can see, that affects the cleaners. Batter Up is just a passive that helps you gives you a chance to not hit by the grenades. And the other modifier we did have equipped was Rupert's Tears, and basically this whenever you break any piece of a tank's armor, all other armor pieces are broken, and when this happens, you apply bleed to the enemies within a certain distance. But overall, guys, the passives didn't really play a big part in this build either. I'm still currently working, got one more passive modifier to unlock. Let's take a look at the weapon stats. As you can see on this build, guys, we did have a total weapon damage of 171,493, and we did have a critical hit chance of 54% 4% with 105% critical hit damage, and headshot damage is 85%. We did have 6% damage to armor on the blue screen LMG. And this build, let's take a look at our armor. Like I said, guys, this build was very squishy. We only had 913,016 armor with 91,300 armor on the kill. We had 0 armor regeneration, but overall, guys, this build is very fun, glass canning like build in my opinion. Now, we did go with the gunner specialization for many reasons. One being that every third reload is 50% faster. You do get 10% armor back on the kill, and also killing those enemies, guys, increase the rate of fire by 5% for 5 seconds. And also, every 60 seconds, you generate 10% of your ammo capacity, and party members receive 5% of that. One last thing to not forget is don't forget to equip the correct weapon element to get your bonus in 15% in whatever weapon you're using damage. For example, our primary weapon we were using was the LMG, so I made sure I did have the LMG element equipped to get my 15% increase in weapon damage. It can make a major difference in your builds and in your gameplay. Alright, agents, if you like the build, let's give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your valued time and continued support as always. Really appreciate each and every one of you for your valued time. Really means a lot. Alright, guys, stick around. Do got a little bit more gameplay. One last thing I do want to mention is that if your watch level is at least 1,000, guys, you will have all your passives unlocked on your watch. So basically, you'll be at the baseline of doing the same amount of damage as you see me doing on screen. The only difference that will stand out is your weapon expertise. I currently do have 30% increase in, I currently do have maxed out weapons on this particular gear set here. So that will make a difference, guys, but the build should still work. Did wear wolf out.
I saw some hostiles enter the parking garage east of the main entrance.
So, where are they hiding?
Spread out. Take it slow. They could be in here already.
March detected.
Pin him down now, Fragger.
There's body.
Transmission control module. It handles all communications going in and out of viewpoint. If you reset it, you'll lock out the True Sons and we can take over the channels. Okay, stay by the module and make sure it completes the reset sequence.
Serious trauma detected. All site facilities are reset to default or under direct SHD. System restored.
You'll be able to use the shape tech as long as that EMP jammer is active. Take it out.
Structural integrity at 75%.
Agent, you've got to stop waves. We need that radio.
System reactivated. System curtailed. System restored. Electromagnetic charge depleted. System disrupted.
The facility is ours. True Sons just lost a powerful tool for coordinating their reach of our own broadcasts.